Hey guys, this is the third part of the shop vlog, and I gotta tell you, some of you have been jumping the gun a little bit, so to speak. Can't say I blame you. It's easy to get excited when you see all this cool stuff coming together before your eyes. I feel the same way when I watch my wife make a sandwich. But patience, my friends. All your questions will be answered in time. In this video, we're gonna finish the miter saw workstation. Then, after that, I'll make another video that explains why I built it like I built it, including why I have this long fence and if it needs to be flush with the saw or if it should be set back just a little bit. I'll explain why I have long fences instead of just a counter to support the workpieces, which seems to be a trend on YouTube these days. I'll explain why there's what some have called wasted space below that fence and why the upper platform exists and why it overhangs the lower one. These are things people have already asked me about. There is a method to all of my madness, and I'll explain it in the next video. But for now, we have to get the thing built. So enjoy a cold one or three, and Mustache Mike and I will do the heavy lifting. I have lots of pocket holes to bore in this project. Yes, I'm using pocket screw joinery for this project. No, that doesn't mean I'm a hack or a loser, no matter what Mustache Mike is saying on the internet. It does not mean that this is because of a sponsor. Craig is not a sponsor. It also doesn't mean this thing's gonna fall apart or explode or spontaneously combust in a week. Pocket hole joinery is simply fast and easy, and it's plenty strong for utility grade cabinets like this, which will be fastened to the wall and not moved until the next time I decide to change everything around again. In which case, the pocket screws will make it easy to take everything back apart. So, always using the noodle. I'm not ashamed of pocket hole construction any more than I am of the cheap sanded pine plywood that I'm using for this project, or the quality of my help, which keeps getting in the way of the camera. These joints will last at least as long as Mustache Mike's joints will, and he's like 100 already. Whenever you make changes in a small shop, you have to deal with your dust collection, and that often means moving some ducts around. Thankfully, I connected these with tape instead of glue. In an ever-evolving shop, you need the ability to tear things apart later. I consider tape to be the pocket screws of the roll adhesive strip world. The purpose of this big hutch-like assembly is to give me some upper storage space for all my crap and to enclose the miter saw for dust collection. As you know, miter saws spew stuff across the room like your grandmother eating corn on the cob, and the only way to control it is to try and enclose it. These hutches will block the two sides, and a shelf will block the top. Later, I'll devise some ingenious way to handle the dust that flies straight out the front rather than just deflecting it off my gorilla-like pectorals as I make my cuts. The problem with shop projects like this is I can never wait to start putting stuff away, so I rarely apply a finish. I might slap something on the lower table and fences later, thinking of experimenting with butter, but I'm leaving the rest of it bare, mostly because, have you seen the price of butter these days? And it just seems pointless in a shop where things get changed around so much. Bare plywood can be reused if I tear this thing apart someday. Butter plywood, not so much. I'm pretty sure these tools won't stay where I'm putting them right now, but I need to get them out of the way so I can start on the next big project. Now, I'm not going to say what that project is just yet, but like the miter saw station, I will give you a hint. Here it is. If you haven't figured it out yet, you don't watch enough of our videos. In the meantime, we're getting some new additions to this workshop. This is a new drill press, and it's about as cool as a machine that bores holes can possibly be. It has a DVR motor, which requires no belts. The new lathe is the same story. If you've never heard of DVR motors, or if you think that it means that my drill press or lathe can record shows off television, you better stay tuned to Stumpy Nubs Woodworking Journal to see these things in action, because these DVR motors make all sorts of amazing things possible. I also got a new planer. This one replaces the old Delta, which is a shame because that one had a nearly new helical head in it, but I do have a helical head coming for this one. Believe me, once you use one of these helical heads with the carbide inserts, you're never going to want a planer or a jointer without one. We made some videos about them in the past. I'll link to those in the notes below this. Just click on Show More if you're on YouTube. Another new addition to the shop is a Jet 1836 drum sander. This is their new generation of these sanders, which are supposed to be greatly improved over the older ones. This replaces the 16-inch Grizzly that we used to have. The Jet will sand up to 36-inch wide panels in 2 passes, which is important because we're going to be making some walnut countertops in a future video. Sounds like fun. Shop is still pretty messy because as this project is finished, I immediately have to begin the next one. But you can see how the new miter station looks, which is pretty much done. We're going to do some edge banding, got to do some dust collection, that kind of stuff. Like I said, I'll make a separate video that explains the features and the reasons behind them. So there's no need bashing me in the comments if you don't understand it quite yet. That's going to be a more serious video for our discerning audience that hates the screwing around we do in these vlogs. For our next vlog video, we'll continue the shop changes with that next big project. Want to see the hint again? Well, that's enough work for today. Time to sit back and have yourself a cold one, because you've earned it, my friend. For more great tips, tricks, and tutorials designed to make you a better woodworker, check out Stumpy Nubs Woodworking Journal. You can read and subscribe for free at stumpynubs.com.